Minamoto no Yoritomo's decision to kill his brother Yoshitsune was a cold calculation for the unification of Japan. Behind that decision lay a truth no one knew. Yoshitsune was a national hero who destroyed the Terra clan. Yet, Yoritomo manipulated the imperial court, pursuing his brother as a rebel. But why was it necessary to eliminate such a hero? The astonishing truth, however, was that Yoshitsune's existence became an obstacle for Yoritomo in establishing his new samurai government. What then was Yoritomo's true reason for eliminating a hero? In this video, you will discover why Yoritomo had to strike down Yoshitsune, the 3 decisive reasons that prompted this decision, and the full impact of this brotherly tragedy on Japanese history. Now, let us delve into that truth. The main feature will also detail Yoshitsune's accomplishments during the Genpei War and why they ultimately led to his downfall. The Minamoto brothers lost their father, Minamoto no Yoshitomo, in the Heiji Rebellion. It was a tragic beginning, with young Yoritomo exiled to Aizu and Yoshitsune entrusted to Karamadera Temple. As Yoritomo grew, he raised an army in Aizu to overthrow the Terra clan. Minamoto warriors scattered across various regions began to gather under Yoritomo's banner one after another. Among them was a young warrior who admired his elder brother. He rode 1,000 miles from Hiraizumi in Ashu, finally achieving an emotional reunion with Yoritomo. That warrior was his younger brother, Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Yoritomo appointed Yoshitsune as the supreme commander for the pursuit and defeat of the Terra. Yoshitsune defeated Kiso Yashinaka, demonstrating his unparalleled military genius, and contributed immensely to the Minamoto's victory. At the Battle of Ichinotani, he overwhelmed the Terra with the audacious tactic of charging down Hyodorigo. His actions were nothing short of a god of war. So why did this hero become a target for his own brother? As the leader of the samurai, Yoritomo sought to establish a new samurai government in Kamakura. For this, discipline and control over his retainers, the Gokunin, were paramount. Yoshitsune, on the other hand, despite being a strategic genius, often acted independently without Yoritomo's permission. This became a significant problem for the order Yoritomo was building. For instance, at the Battle of Dano-Ura, Yoshitsune, without waiting for Yoritomo's command, independently pursued and decisively annihilated the Terra clan. This act incurred Yoritomo's wrath. Furthermore, after capturing Terra no Minamori and others, he received court ranks such as Seimin no Shoi and Kabishi from the imperial court without Yoritomo's permission. For a samurai, this was an act of overstepping authority. Upon hearing this, Yoritomo was furious, declaring how dare he accept ranks without permission. He forbade Yoshitsune from entering Kamakura and ordered him to wait in Kyoto. This was the moment the first decisive rift appeared between the brothers. Yoshitsune sent a letter of appeal to Yoritomo, the Kashigo-jo, desperately pleading his loyalty. However, his earnest plea did not reach Yoritomo and was coldly rejected. This was the first reason. Yoritomo viewed Yoshitsune's independent actions as disrupting the control and discipline of the samurai. For the samurai society he was building, it was an unforgivable act of defiance. Yoritomo held a vision for a new samurai government, to draw a clear line between the imperial court and the samurai. He believed samurai should adhere to samurai rules. Yoshitsune's unauthorized rapprochement with the imperial court fundamentally shook this vision. For Yoritomo, Yoshitsune had transformed into a dangerous presence. What Yoritomo sought was a loyal vassalage and the order of a samurai world that adhered to it. Yoshitsune's talent was an anomaly that disturbed this order, making him a target for elimination. So what was the second reason? Yoritomo, with his shrewd political skills, unified influential Gokunin and solidified the foundation of the Kamakura shogunate. His abilities were unparalleled. Yoshitsune, on the other hand, was a military genius but lacked political talent and the skill to win over people. His purity and straightforwardness often backfired. As Yoritomo's suspicions deepened, Emperor Go Shirakawa, the cloistered emperor, approached Yoshitsune. He plotted to use Yoshitsune as a political pawn against Yoritomo. The cloistered emperor then issued an Inzan, imperial decree, to Yoshitsune, ordering him to pursue and defeat his elder brother Yoritomo. This was nothing less than a clear declaration of war against Yoritomo. Yoshitsune, however, accepted this imperial decree. He failed to fully grasp his political situation and naively played into the cloistered emperor's intentions. Yoritomo learned of this and proclaimed throughout the country that Yoshitsune is plotting rebellion. He had finally obtained a just cause to pursue and eliminate his brother. Yoshitsune's actions directly contradicted Yoritomo's ambition to establish governance by samurai. For Yoritomo, it was an unforgivable act of betrayal. Consequently, Yoritomo used the pursuit of Yoshitsune as a pretext to obtain the Bunji imperial sanction from the imperial court, allowing him to establish shugo, constables, and jito, land stewards, nationwide. He seized this perfect opportunity to solidify the shogunate's control. Yoritomo regarded Yoshitsune as a fool used by the cloistered emperor and became convinced he could no longer be allowed to live. At this point, Yoshitsune's fate was sealed. Yoshitsune's political immaturity became an obstacle to Yoritomo's unification of Japan and ultimately shortened his own life. So what was the third, decisive reason? As the legitimate heir of the Minamoto clan, Yoritomo prioritized standing at the apex of the samurai world above all else. He would not tolerate anyone challenging that position, even a blood relative. Yoshitsune's popularity was immense. As a god of war who annihilated the Terra, he received fervent support from the populace, and his military genius could potentially threaten Yoritomo's position. Yoritomo valued his own legitimacy as the rightful heir of the Minamoto clan more than anyone. If Yoshitsune were to be championed as the next leader, Yoritomo's power base would be jeopardized. How agonizing must it have been for Yoritomo to kill his own brother, a fellow Minamoto by blood. Yet, for the stability of the new samurai government, this decision was unavoidable. Yoritomo constantly feared betrayal from within his own family. He had witnessed, more than anyone, the tragic history of the Minamoto clan, losing his father in the Heiji Rebellion and seeing brothers turn against each other. For the monumental task of establishing the Kamakura shogunate, not even a minor spark of dissent could be tolerated. Yoshitsune was an existence that could not be allowed in Yoritomo's vision for the future. Now a fugitive, Yoshitsune fled to Hiraizumi, relying on the Ashu Fujiwara clan. Although he received protection from Fujiwara no Hidehira, after Hidehira's death, his son Yasuhira betrayed Yoshitsune, who met his end at Kuromo River Palace. He was 31 years old, a death far too premature. However, upon receiving this news, Yoritomo gained a pretext to destroy the Ashu Fujiwara clan, further solidifying his unification of Japan. Yoritomo's pursuit and elimination of Yoshitsune was not mere sibling rivalry, but a cold, meticulously calculated political decision to solidify the new samurai world. The first decisive reason Yoritomo struck down Yoshitsune was his independent actions that disrupted the discipline of the samurai government. For Yoritomo, who valued discipline, Yoshitsune's behavior was intolerable. The second was his exploitation by anti-Yoritomo forces due to political immaturity. Being used by cloistered Emperor Go-Shirakawa and accepting the imperial decree to pursue Yoritomo was a fatal blow. And the third was Yoritomo's overly strong attachment to the legitimate Minamoto lineage and his suspicion that Yoshitsune's existence could become a threat. Heroic popularity can sometimes become a blade. Yoritomo prioritized the order of the samurai world and his absolute power over his emotions. That ultimately led to the ruthless decision to kill his blood brother. Without this tragedy, the establishment of the Kamakura shogunate might have been far more difficult. Yoshitsune's death could be seen as the price for building a new era. Why did Yoritomo have to strike down Yoshitsune? It was for the establishment of order in samurai society and the strengthening of his own absolute power base. The three reasons that prompted the decision were Yoshitsune's independent actions, his political immaturity, and Yoritomo's strong attachment to the legitimate Minamoto lineage and his suspicions. The tragedy of the brothers revealed Yoritomo's cold and decisive governing skills both domestically and internationally, making it an indispensable sacrifice for building the unshakable foundation of the Kamakura shogunate. For Yoritomo, Yoshitsune was both a blood relative and, at the same time, an unforgivable disruptor of the samurai world's order and a threat to his own position. The death of Yoshitsune, hero of the Genpei War, may have been a cold inevitability for creating a new era.